Today's reading comes from Florence Scovel Shinn's timeless classic, first published in 1925, The Game of Life and How to Play It. We begin at the start of her book, where she lays the foundation of her philosophy. Reading begins. Most people consider life a battle, but it is not a battle, it is a game. It is a game, however, which cannot be played successfully without the knowledge of spiritual law. The Old and the New Testaments give the rules of the game with wonderful clearness. Jesus Christ taught that it was a great game of giving and receiving. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. This means that whatever man sends out in word or deed, will return to him. What he gives, he will receive. If he gives hate, he will receive hate. If he gives love, he will receive love. If he gives criticism, he will receive criticism. If he lies, he will be lied to. If he cheats, he will be cheated. We are taught also that the imaging faculty plays a leading part in the game of life. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. This means that what man feels deeply, or images clearly, is impressed upon the subconscious mind, and carried out in minutest detail. For example, a woman I know, when a child, always made believe she was a widow. She dressed up in black clothes and wore a long black veil, and people thought she was very clever and amusing. She grew up and married a man with whom she was deeply in love. In a short time, he died and she wore black and a sweeping veil for many years. The picture she had impressed upon her subconscious mind came true in detail. The subconscious mind has no sense of humor and people often joke themselves into unhappy experiences. For example, a man who had a great fear that he would lose his eyesight, always joked about it. He would say, "The eyes of my understanding are certainly dim." Shortly after, he went blind. The law works both ways, for good and for ill. What man imagines, sooner or later externalizes in his life. Man must train his imaging faculty. He must make a habit of visualizing only health, wealth, and happiness. For every disease and every discord has its root in fear. Resentment, ill will, hate, fear, worry, jealousy all break down the cells of the body and poison the bloodstream. Accidents are the expression of sudden inharmonious thoughts. For example, fear of a certain thing often attracts it to us. The student must be careful never to mention the disease or trouble he does not wish to experience. For example, do not say, "I am poor," or "I cannot afford this." Instead, affirm, "I am rich, supply comes to me now." The subconscious mind is impressed by the words we speak. Every word has power, and must be carefully watched. Every negative word must be erased, and an affirmation made of truth. For example, a woman who had always made her living by teaching, came to the point where she could no longer attract pupils. She was in great despair. She affirmed, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right now reach me in great avalanches of abundance." She was led to open a small shop, and it became very successful. Her urgent need was supplied. The law of prosperity is unfailing. But man must be careful to keep his heart free from fear, doubt, and resentment. He must be willing to receive. Many people say, "Oh, I could never accept so much." But if God's supply is infinite, why should man limit himself? We can only receive what we are open to. Faith without works is dead. Man must prepare for the thing he has asked for, even before he sees it coming. This is acting on faith. For example, a woman wanted a new dress. She bought the material and cut it out, though without money to pay for it. Very soon, the money came in and the dress was finished. She had acted as if, and the law had worked for her. Man must act as if he had already received. He must prepare for the thing he has asked for. When there is no evidence of it in sight, he must still move forward in faith. Obedience is another law of the game. Obedience to intuition, or divine guidance. For example, a woman was told by her intuition to take a certain train. She refused and took another, which met with an accident. Her obedience would have saved her. There is always the perfect plan, and man must be willing to follow it. Intuition is God's voice in man, pointing the way. Man is here to unfold, to expand, to increase. But he must keep his heart and mind in tune with divine wisdom. No man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher. What you send out returns. What you give, you receive. The game of life is a game of boomerangs. The wise student of truth plays the game fearlessly, with faith and love, knowing that what he sends out must return multiplied.